Hello again, ladies and gentlemen, Sonic from SEGADriven.com, and welcome back to our Sonic Amateur Games Expo 2019 coverage. In this video we're taking a look at Sonic after the sequel Omega. Now, this is a fascinating little project, not something you see very often in the fan game community. Normally a fan game developer makes a game and that's your lot. Well, this is a deluxe modification of an existing fan game, obviously called Sonic after the sequel, by a different team, but it has been given the all clear and support from the original developer, Lake Leopard. I'm really impressed with what they've done here. This is a new version of the game with a 16.9 aspect ratio, which obviously makes things a little bit nicer to play because you can see further ahead of yourself. It's got new sprites, bug fixes, Discord support, achievements, new settings, new cutscenes, and most crucially, more complicated and interesting bosses. Unfortunately, to a little bit of the detriment of the first release of this. So, Sonic After the Sequel is an amazing fan game. If you've never played it before, please go and check it out because it's one of the best. It's a really accomplished, really awesome little fan game that is set between Sonic 2 and 3 in the sort of plot of the Sonic series. And really cool game, really well worth playing. There's two versions of it available. The original one doesn't have the drop dash, but they added that for a deluxe version, and that's included in this as well. But this Omega version obviously is a bit more of a revamp, a bit more of an overhaul. The actual stages themselves aren't particularly they haven't been altered too much, to be honest with you. They play out pretty much similar to the original version of the game. It's just obviously now you have the lovely 16:9 aspect ratio to see more of the stage, and it just makes it a little bit nicer to look at. But yeah, so everything that you'd expect to see from Sonic the After the Sequel is still here. It's just that you get to see more of it essentially. But yeah, those bosses, that's the big change, and like I say, they are more complicated and a little bit more interesting. But the first release of this, so this has been updated during the stage to dial back the difficulty of the bosses, because, oh boy, they were difficult at the start. The capture here is from the original release earlier on in the week, and the Sugar Splash boss is just impossible. So difficult, but the difficulty has been dialed back somewhat in the update that went out during the week. So now if you haven't played it yet, this is the version to get basically. So download the new version on SEGADriven.com or linked in our description, and you'll have a better time with this. But yeah, basically this is an expanded version of Sonic After the Sequel. There's not much else to say really. Sonic After the Sequel is a great game, well worth playing if you've never played it before. This is probably the best way to play it now, to be honest with you. I've heard some reports that this does not run well on certain PCs. I personally haven't had any issues with it, but just bear in mind that certain PCs have definitely been having some issues running this well, which is a shame because what's here and what I've been experiencing is pretty damn solid, and I would totally recommend it. But like I say, take that with some precaution because not all PCs seem to be running this as well as mine. So that's something to look out for. That's the only thing there. But otherwise, Sonic After the Sequel Omega, totally worth playing. A massive game, all complete. This isn't the finished development. There are going to be some further tweaks to this, apparently, through as time goes on. So this isn't the final version of Sonic After the Sequel Omega. But if you've never played Sonic After the Sequel before, the whole game's here for you to experience in its current format, with a nicer, wider aspect ratio, some additional bits and pieces, and new bosses, basically. So this is currently the best way to play it, but it will get updated, so it's probably worth keeping an eye on this development as time passes, because hopefully it'll get even better, to be honest. So yeah, Sonic After the Sequel Omega, an easy recommend, but please beware that it may not work well on your PC setup.